fighting out of the red corner, it's Nikko Agustin.
Charles, I love this first fight because I'm an old man. Nikko Agustin is, I believe, 38 years old. Fights Pentagon MMA from nearby Arlington. You know, you can't blink when the 125ers in the cage. I think the best fighter on the planet right now is at 125. But I love it when the old guys are dedicated enough to go, I'm going to see what I got.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's something about coming into the fight game at such an older age. And, you know, 38 is not old. I mean, you know,
I know, it's young to
not,
me.
Yeah, right? You know, it's not old.
But it's old for this game.
In this sport, you know, typically your first fight is coming at early 20s, even late teens now. So it's always interesting when you see a guy who's obviously established their career, who's doing this strictly by choice with, I got to think, no interest for world champion, you know, aspirations. So I think it's always cool to see somebody operate as strictly because they want to.
Yeah.
Making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Jed Wulfekotte.
And to look at both these guys, you wouldn't guess that they were in their mid-30s, just looking at the shape they're in.
Yeah, both guys excellent shape, and you know, quite frankly, they both look younger than they are.
Absolutely. Jed Wulfekotte, he is a lawyer in D.C., he's a litigator. He's got I believe, a 5-week-old baby. He was a wrestler for 15 years. He's been doing MMA for 1 year. Super dedicated to the game. You have to be. Both these guys have to be to get into this game at 36 for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the good thing is that they're actually pretty evenly matched, right? They're in their mid-30s. They're both doing this, like we talked about a few minutes ago, by choice. You know, this is let's see what we got. Let's challenge ourselves and put ourselves in an uncomfortable position. And you've got to admire that, especially from two full-time guys. I mean, Jed being a litigator, I can tell you that is not an easy job to balance while you're trying to, you know, make it through a fight camp.
Yeah, if he has a new baby and a day job at 36, you know he wants to be in here badly. And you know what? In all fairness, they are always looking for somebody to fight Demetrius Johnson at 125. Who I mentioned the best fighter in the world is at 125. You never know, because they are running out of guys for that guy to fight. Let's go back into the cage for Chris.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3-minute rounds in the CageZilla Flyweight division. Starting out, fighting out of the red corner, 75'4" and weighing in at 125 pounds, and fighting out of Pentagon MMA, he makes his CageZilla debut this evening. It's Nikko Agustin! And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, 75'1" and weighing in at 125 pounds, fighting out of Yousefi Martial Arts, also making his CageZilla debut, it's Jed Wulfekotte! Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3-minute rounds, and the referee is Michael Dolman.
Here comes Chris making his way back to our broadcast position to help out on the team. Agustin is black shorts with white. Wulfekotte has Hayabusas, blue and white. And we are live on GoSports.com, and here we go.
These guys look intense, fellas.
They do. They didn't touch gloves, and they're just getting right into it.
Agustin has a bit of a reach advantage. I suspect Wulfekotte, yes, he does want to get this fight on the ground. Thanks for the help, Jed.
Beautifully timed double leg. He just waited for Nikko to move forward and then just blasted right through. Right now he's working, trying to get into a deeper half guard. He's got one leg clear, but Nikko's able to hold on to that leg. And now he's got to worry about him taking his back. You know, Nikko's going to work his way out that back door, and Jed's really got to apply pressure to hold him down.
Does the cage there make that easier or harder, Charles?
Well, it's actually going to make it more difficult for Nikko to get around, but it's going to limit the opportunity of movement for Jed. This is going to, actually, this is right here is a dangerous spot because he's got no room to shrimp, And Jed is really laying it on here.
There's some bad intent, some energy behind those punches.
And Jed had that left arm trapped. I don't know if you saw that, Charles. So.
Great point. Yeah, no, it's not only is it trapped, he can't move his body to free that arm up. He's stuck here. While Jed can't exactly advance his position, he could keep this fight here, and if he keeps raining these elbows and punches down, the fight's going to end quick. Nikko's got to start getting that other knee up, regaining full guard, and start adjusting himself so he can wall walk his back up the cage and get this fight back on the feet.
Jed's not making it easy on him, though. Jed's got really good position.
Look at his head pressure. So
Yeah.
he's actually using his head to keep Nikko over and on an angle, and that, believe it or not, that manipulation of the spine really limits how much you can move.
Charles, I believe everything you tell me.
And you keep seeing Jed lift that left knee up. He looks like he's trying to pass into a mount or something, but well, now his guard, Nikko's guard's opened up a little bit. There we go.
And
back
Nikko,
into full guard.
Great point. So Nikko actually was able to take advantage of that. As Jed went to go for full mount, he just created a little bit too much space. He was putting his weight on that leg to keep it in half guard, and that was how he was able to get both legs around and regain full guard now. But he's got to move. He's got to get his posture up. He's got to work his back up against the cage and start angling off. You can't accept this position. As uncomfortable as it is, you can see his head's just right up against the cage.
Yeah, that's got to hurt.
You got to start moving. You gotta get out of here, because you have no room to absorb the shot. There's nowhere for you to go. You can't back up and move with it. You just eat it.
And also, some of those shots, Wulfekotte has his head on the back of the neck. I mean, that just magnifies the force of the punch if the head can't recoil.
Absolutely, absolutely. And here you're seeing him posture up. He thought about it, but now that he has him up against the side, his main goal should really actually be to regain half. Half guard in MMA is so useful because you can limit the mobility of their hips. Sometimes I feel it's more advantageous than side control even, because you could really posture up.
And all this work that Wulfekotte's been doing, and when you get right down to it, Agustin doesn't look any worse for wear.
Well, he's certainly not wearing those punches, but he wasn't able to move enough. He was kind of locked down. That's something that I think Nikko's got to think about, being a little bit more trepidatious, throwing out the jab a little bit more, stepping into it, putting his weight behind it, using that jab as takedown defense, whereas Jed just found the secret of the fight. He's got to get him down and put him in that same position, which that's going to be his main goal.
Yeah, you don't really want to stand with a kickboxing instructor.
Certainly not. Both guys breathing pretty heavy, though. In their first fight, you deal with a lot of these nerves. You deal with a lot of adrenaline dumps, and things are going really well.
You lose half your strength, half your endurance, and half your technique the first time you walk in a cage.
I would say the first 30 seconds, and almost all your technique. But then I'll tell you, when you start to get back into it, you get tired and you go on autopilot, you actually settle in. You let all of your training take over.
Well, that's got to be multiplied exponentially if it's your first fight, right?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. My first fight was certainly not what I had trained for.
All right, here we go, round two. Michael Dolman looks like he's cleaning up some mess in the corner, and he's going to get him started.
Now, Charles, like you said, Augustin's got to use his jab to keep Wulfekotte away. But Wulfekotte's corner knows that too.
Yeah, well, that's going to give him an opportunity to counter and start, working his striking. When you're afraid of the takedown, punches and kicks actually get opened up. You can't, you're a little bit hesitant to throw, just like
There's
that right there.
Right?
There was an overhand, and then he followed up with an uppercut. And that opening is because, Nikko needs to worry about that takedown.
He sure does. That was a good slip.
Throwing a lot of heat behind these shots.
No jabs, just
No
haymakers.
jabs.
Yeah. But Nikko's got to slow it down now. He's getting a little excited. As he moves forward, he needs to worry about putting too much pressure on that front foot and leaving himself open for that takedown.
I tell you, I was going to say that exact same thing. As soon as Nikko lifted that right leg, I'd be shooting.
Jab.
I'd be shooting for that left.
Exactly. But that was a good right hand landed there, and big second one, third one. He's rocked. He's rocked.
Got to pounce.
Jed's got to put pressure on him here. A little. He's giving it. Ooh, big shot. He just ate one.
Back.
He didn't like that either, Charles.
No, he didn't. That hurt him. That was right on the bridge of the nose, it looked like. You got to take advantage when you get somebody hurt. I know your first fight, you're a little hesitant, but when you see somebody go back on their heels like that, you got to push pressure forward.
See that little bit of change in their eyeballs?
And it's hard to see the details. Sometimes you hear the crowd react, and, the guy won't give you a reaction at all. Other times the crowd might, the corners, they might not notice anything at all, but you see something, In this particular case, he just didn't follow up.
Now, Augustin is just wearing Wulfekotte. This is where a fighter's energy can get sapped.
Well, you can actually see as he's lowering himself, now he's susceptible for that takedown.
Exactly.
Wulfekotte was able to get around that ankle and slide him down. You know, Nikko just kind of lowered his body a little too much. I knew what he was doing. He's trying to keep his hips, keep his center of balance. But when you lower your hips, you need to spread your legs. You need to force your opponent to split their power.
Yep.
If they don't, and they're able to get both legs or focus on one, you're going to get taken down. And now we're in a half guard situation up against the cage like we were in the first round.
Right back where we were.
And not only is he more tired, but he's hurt.
These are some
big shots
punches
landed
with
from
some
the top.
intent.
Michael Doman telling him to watch the shots to the back of the head, I believe. But Nikko's got to be active here. He can't just take these shots. You know, he was rocked before, and, you know, there's a full minute left in this position that he's got to worry about.
Guys, you're going to see a lot of this evening, but I'm telling you, I've been around the amateur MMA community for a while. Michael Doman is just about the best ref that I've seen.
Amateur and professional. He's excellent. He's excellent. He knows the sport. You know, he protects the fighters, but he lets them work as well, like we just saw right there.
Yep.
Now, thus far, Jed Wulfekotte, not even a hint of going for a submission. Just content to work the ground and pound.
Yeah, you know, he's got a strong overhook in half guard, and he's able to really, you know, by locking that arm down, he only has to worry about one defense. And, you know, actually, I liked what he was doing with his elbows because you can't really block that with the hand the same way you can, you know, sometimes you get your, you know, block a punch.
All right, so the end of round 2. And if you are Nikko's corner, the red corner over there, you have to know you're down 2 rounds now. You've got to do something crazy here in the third.
And he started to land a few nice, clean shots, sort of right towards the last third of the round, just before the takedown. But he's got to be busier in this third round, doesn't he?
He's got to stay on his feet, right?
He's got to stay on his feet. But being busier with the striking might help that.
Well, being busier with your striking, being aware of the takedown, but don't prevent the way you're fighting. Don't react a certain way to it, right? Follow your jab, get your base, but don't put yourself in a position where you overcommit and you get taken down. But also stay in a range where you can hit Jed. You know, you have actually 3 inches. You have a reach advantage. You got to use it to keep him away.
I'd like to see some takedown defense right now from Augustin. Because on the flip side of that, if I'm Jed's corner, I'm taking him down right now.
Right.
Hey, you know, Jed told me before the fight, 15 years of wrestling experience. Takedown defense sometimes, for me in particular,
Big right
easier
hand.
said than done.
I'm in the same boat.
You know what's landing? That right hand has been landing. That one just missed, but he landed that straight right just as, ooh. Excellent movement, though, from Nikko to get out of the way.
Yep.
And he threw a counter on the
Actually,
way back.
yeah, woke him up a little bit. Oh, that one he didn't get out of the way of. That hurt him.
Well, if you're going to throw that Superman punch, you sort of got to get him used to the kicks, don't you?
Excellent point, Jay. That's exactly what you have to do. Now, this is what we just saw. So that was excellent striking by Nikko. It forced Jed to shoot from far out.
Way out.
But it looks like he's still going to get it as he's deep on that single. Now he's going to transition to a double. Look for him to drive forward and scoop him out. Looks like he's going to decide to go for just one and run the pipe. He needs to get that leg in between his. And now he's looking to drag him down. Nikko was actually holding the fence, and he was able to get it.
I think referee Michael Doman is right on top of it.
He's a little involved right now because there's been some small violations occurring.
I think he actually messed up by grabbing the fence. He could have had an easy sprawl there.
Well, you know, that's a great point. I mean, he shot from so far off, and this is what we were talking about in the middle of the round. You got to do something a little different. Good shots landing there. Now, if you're Jed, you actually want to get out of here because you're getting hit. You're not doing much. Right here, you're in a perfect position. You have him off balance. You want to suck that leg in and pirouette out, and that's called running the pipe. And that'll put him on the ground. It's going to get him off the cage, but that's okay. Right now, by going for this double, it's a little bit harder. Nikko's actually threatening for a guillotine now.
Wow.
Now,
that's tough.
His coach is telling him to jump in. His coach is telling him to jump on it into full guard and really, really crank it. It looks like there's too much space.
Yeah, it looks like there's some space. Jed's moving his head around a little bit. He's got 2-on-1, it looks like. Yep.
But if you're Nikko here, you're throwing these knees. Maybe you transition to a full clinch and go for some knees. Jed's a little bit low right now. Now he's angling off.
This is a terrific round for Agustin after the first 2.
Very good round. Excellent adjustments. That knee to the body's there. He's just got to angle a little bit more. He's hitting the leg. If he can get that right in on the stomach, that could be dangerous. Jed's just holding on to the grip. He's uncomfortable. You could see the pressure on his forehead, but he's not really quite getting choked.
Oh,
big knee there. Almost got through.
If you're If you're Jed Wulfekotte in this position, you're thinking, I just got to get out of this round.
Well, Jed's got to do something here. Honestly, I would tell you that blasting forward and trying to get that double and clearing the legs, that'll prevent the choke.
Yeah.
That'll do a decent enough job of preventing the choke. But he got out.
Now he's out.
But he's got to move, though. And if you're Nikko, you actually want to think about pushing off here and getting out of this clinch, because Jed has had big shot landed there.
Spinning elbow.
Nikko's got to do something. 10 seconds left in the fight.
Another big straight.
And that's time. Excellent fight. Excellent fight.
Well, we got to thank these two gentlemen for bringing us in pretty well, huh?
Yeah, that was a great start to CageZilla 51.
Really good. All right, so I'm going to go up here and get the judge's decision. I'll see you guys in a bit.
See you in a minute.
Michael Dolman bringing both fighters to the center of the cage as Chris is about to get the judge's decision.
Probably not a surprise in this case.
How do you have it, Jed?
2-1 Wulfekotte. So 30-29.
29-28.
I'm sorry, 29-28 Wulfekotte.
But I agree
I'll
with you.
get it. Bless your heart for correcting me. I will figure it out again. We're looking at some replay right now of that almost guillotine. Gosh, Agustin was working hard for that, trying to loose him up with the knees. But just not nearly tight enough. Position was not good enough. Let's go to the cage.
All three judges scored the bout 29-28 in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. Out of the blue corner, Jed Wulfekotte!
Jed Wulfekotte, just like we predicted, 29-28. Great first fight here at CageZilla 51.
And look who's in the cage. But Jed's brand new baby.
GoSports.com, capturing a moment.
Yeah, how about that? Thank you, Go Sports. By the way, ups to Nikko Agustin, because what a heck of a performance out of him.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. For your first fight, you're down on the scorecards, you're not having your time, but he forced that fight to become a fight.